Hello everyone, my name is Will Boyd. I am an instructor with the TxDOTCONNECT team. We are going to demonstrate our Unified Transportation Program functionality that's going live on September 20th, which includes new funding category programming. And with us here to talk about that a little bit, we have Jamie Griffin.
Hi there, my name is Jamie Griffin. I'm a project manager in the Bridge Division, and I am happy to be here.
And tell us a little bit about what you do, Jamie.
I work in the Bridge Management section in the Bridge Division, so we program candidate bridges that are submitted by districts.
Excellent. And so Jamie is here with us today as we talk about this new category programming. I'm going to start out by showing how this works for our district users. Create a program, I just go to my Portfolios and Programs module, click Create Program and Unified Transportation Program. I just need to choose a program range. And keep in mind, I can only create a district or division program for a statewide program that's already been created. Well, once I do that, though, I've got all this information that's available to me. You see a lot of this already today in TxDOTCONNECT. What's new is that you'll now have the ability to manage separate programs on separate pages, depending on that funding category. So we have Category 6 funding managed on the Bridge program, Category 8 on the Traffic Safety, Category 9 Transportation Alternatives, and a new page we're introducing here that really encompasses multiple funding categories, Categories 2, 4, and 12 that require that commission approval will be visible on my mobility page. Now, since we have Jamie Griffin in the Bridge section here today, we're going to look at the Bridge program. As I scroll down, I will see my project list that is populated automatically for those projects that have that pending Category 6 funding, NBIs or bridges, and that have let date, either estimated or approved, that falls within this program. As a district user, I may just want to open up my funding drawer by expanding out my project ID and look at all of these categories of funding that are visible for me. Now, Jamie, you've expressed before that you think it's really important and valuable that our districts and you in the Bridge Division will have visibility not only just to Category 6 funding, but to all of those categories. Why is that so important?
Well, we're all familiar with funding limitations, but as we move forward, it's going to be important for us to be able to partner with districts and with other categories of funding for bridge projects. And so it's going to be really great to see all of the different categories that might be applied to any particular project to give us an idea of how much these other categories are contributing and what that difference is that the district would like to see from Category 6.
That's great stuff. I think one of the things that helps here as well, and this is going to come into play as we move into our statewide program, I have a lot of other data about this program, about this project. Not only is that going to be visible to my district users, it's going to be visible to our division reviewers, our programmers, just like Jamie.
Yeah, this is going to be just fantastic. Again, Category 6 is a statewide program focused on improving bridge conditions and bridge condition scores. So having that inspection data, that condition data, is absolutely critical to our programming. Right now, the way our programming works is the districts need to take a look at the condition of their bridges, either using inspection reports or by going into the bridge inspection database. The great thing about having it all right here in this one spot is that instead of having to go back and forth between these different data sources, TxDOTCONNECT has actually brought all of that inspection data into the programming function so that we can see it all in the same place at the same time, and everybody can be working from the same data set without as much cross-referencing.
Really valuable stuff. I appreciate that, Jamie. I'm ready to submit this for review by people just like Jamie. What I need to do is just come up here, click Program Review, switch that to statewide, and click Save Program. And that will make this not only visible, but reviewable. Let's take a look at how that works. We're going to switch hats again. Each of the different program reviewers will have their own page where they can view all of the submissions. So if I am the Bridge Program Reviewer, I can see my funding request summary where it breaks it down not only by category, but by year and by subprogram. And as I scroll down, I have my candidate project list. Now, when it comes to completing your review, there are actually a couple of different ways that we can do this. I can review each individual project, or in this case, individual bridge, pop open this funding drawer and see the funding that is being requested. And I can choose to accept and review, or if I decide I shouldn't really accept this, I can leave that blank and add some kind of a dialogue, some sort of an explanation of why I'm not accepting this. In these comment boxes here, and those little bubbles turn blue as you enter information there. That will then be visible to them once you change the status of that program review back to the district and click Save. So you can bounce this back and forth right here in TxDOTCONNECT and create that conversation between the program reviewer and the submitter. Jamie, I know that previously you were trying to manage all of this through meetings and emails. How does this help simplify things?
Well, having less of that cross-referencing is going to save us a lot of time. Right now, like you said, we're going through several different meetings, different programs, different lists and spreadsheets, and trying to keep all of that information consistent. And of course, that requires a whole lot of time and meetings and exchanges of information to try and keep it that way. And again, when you have that many different data sources, you have a lot of opportunity for error. And so it's going to take a lot of the uncertainty out of it, but also save us, districts and divisions, a lot of time.
That is great. And we always say one of our little catchphrases is it's not intended to replace that conversation, but it is absolutely intended to help and support that conversation. So as a reviewer, I can mark these as accepted at the individual project level, but there is another way that I can do this. I can use my subprogram filter here to choose just an individual subprogram here, check boxes next to the projects that they want to go ahead and accept. As they check those boxes down here in the candidate project list, TxDOTCONNECT tallies up the total proposed amount for that, and it shows you how many projects you have selected. And if you are ready to, you can just click Mark as Reviewed, and TxDOTCONNECT will mark all of those projects as accepted and reviewed. That makes things a lot simpler and easier to manage at the subprogram level. I know this is especially valuable for some programs where they try to divide and conquer. But I know, Jamie, for you in the bridge division, sometimes you don't divide things up amongst different people, but does this still help you being able to manage at the subprogram level?
Absolutely. This is actually going to be critical to our programming. While we don't necessarily divide each program out amongst the different project managers, we do form our budgets based on the subprogram. So for example, the Bridge Maintenance Improvement Program has its own budget that is broken out from the overall allocation. And so being able to look at each of these subprograms individually is going to just, like I said, be absolutely critical to our programming efforts.
I'm so glad. I think anything that we can do to make this rather complex but strategically important process simpler, the better we can plan. And we can only do that by talking to stakeholders like yourself. Excellent stuff. Once they've completed their review of all of the projects that have been submitted, when they're ready to program the entire bridge category, they come up to the top here, they toggle this little button here, and I'm now able to click that button and program the overall statewide bridge program. Each of these programs may manage against their own annual cycle, but also all of these category programs roll up to the annual Unified Transportation Program. So whenever I now leave my just individual bridge program page and go to my statewide UTP program, this page includes all of the funding for all of the different categories across all 10 years of the annual program. And this is where we'll be able to see things like grouping and ranking, which is already taking place in TxDOTCONNECT today. As each of those individual categories get programmed, these boxes at the top of the statewide UTP get checked. And that tells our UTP coordinators in the TPP division that all of those different programs have been reviewed and approved as part of the annual cycle for UTP. And so our UTP coordinators are then able to program the overall statewide UTP. So that is just a quick glimpse and sneak peek of how the UTP functionality and these individual category programs works in TxDOTCONNECT. Jamie, I know you've been working alongside our team as our developers have been working on this, our product owners and everyone. Anything else that you'd like to share?
I'm really looking forward to getting into TxDOTCONNECT and getting started with programming. It's going to be so beneficial to both the districts and the divisions to have all the information we need in one spot, to have one source of information that we can all look at to make sure that our financial records and our programming records are all in agreement. I really think this is going to be a great time saver for both districts and divisions, so I'm really looking forward to working with it.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Jamie. And thank you all for listening. Hope you enjoyed this sneak peek of the UTP functionality. Have a great day.